Silent scan. Silent scan.
Defiance.
Bants and Bants.
You can't control us.
Bants and
A frightening dystopia.
Bants and Bants.
Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Open your eyes.
Bants and
An alternate reality. We begin as wanderers, and we are wanderers still.
Welcome, everyone, to another edition of Bombs and Bants with John, Mark, and the Missus. I'm John, and with me, as always, is Mark.
Howdy.
And the Missus.
Hello.
And we have T-Bone as well.
Hi, T-Bone. Hey, what's up?
First up, Mark with the scientific mystery of the man who picked the same article that I was going to do. Oh, wait, no. The scientific mystery of the man who lived with 90% of his brain missing. Huh. Biden will do anything to get in the news. I'll finishing things up with a tale of hate crime from campusreform.org. Ohio State students furious after school reports black on white hate crime.
Billy Hayes here from Mass Be Gone. You might remember products such as Sham Cow, the dairy-free butter, Slap Cop, our police revenge service, OxyCream, the combination toilet cleaner and dessert topping, and Kaboom Boom, the world's most effective personal explosive device.
Ever had a hard time putting on your COVID-19 mask? Can't find your ears? Does your nose keep growing uncontrollably? Do you often end up with your mask on your forehead? We have a solution. Mask Be Gone.
Don't confuse Mask Be Gone with cheaper products like Mask No More or Johnny Mask Badger. Mask Be Gone is the real deal. Mask Be Gone is crafted using high-tech materials that NASA might have briefly considered when planning to go to the moon. But you don't need to be a rocket scientist to use Mask Be Gone. Mask Be Gone consists of 3 simple parts: a full helmet, a full excursion suit rated for vacuum use, a simple environmental control system that keeps you from boiling in the hot sun and keeps you from freezing in the shade, all while providing dozens of minutes of breathable air before you must return to your coronavirus excursion pod, which you get for free.
Available now with this television offer for only $16,999,999.99. Plus, order 1 Mask Be Gone with your complimentary Corona excursion pod and get a free quart of OxyCream. Some assembly required and shipping and handling is $5.99. This product has not been evaluated by the EPA, FDA, or the ATF.
Now, on to the scientific mystery of the man who lived with 90% of his brain missing. Now, that's an unusual defense against zombies, but I guess we can go with it. Mark, tell us more.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I saw this title and I was like immediately, sacre bleu. It's really true that people only use 10% of their brain. I mean, isn't that what you thought? I've always heard that. You only use 10% of your brain. And this guy proved it.
This guy's a civil servant, though. And I was like, no wonder he can get by with so little.
And an IQ of 84.
Yeah.
And since those people, let's be frank, don't listen to our podcast, we can make fun of them all day long.
Absolutely. And he's a British guy, so.
No, he's French. French father, too, 44 years old. Oh, anyway, yeah. The story
My name is Marcel Gump.
The story describes his 44-year-old French father of 2 found out one day that he had most of his brain missing. Instead, his skull is mostly full of liquid with almost no brain tissue left.
His brain is gone.
Yeah.
Well, I can say I'm sure that his wife just went, I could have told you that.
Well, it's interesting. So he didn't realize that he had a problem until he'd gone in for some leg pain. Anyway, I guess they must have done like a CT scan or MRI or something of his cranium.
So this is socialized medicine. You have a headache, you have a leg pain, and they immediately go to brain scan. Brain scan.
Let's not rule anything out at this point.
I'm sure
that what happened is they determined that it was something neurological, but that's okay. What I thought was interesting is his IQ was 84, which is only 1 standard deviation below, normal IQ.
But pretty high for a civil servant.
Well, yeah, and it's pretty high for someone who's missing 9/10 of his brain.
His brain. Jim.
Anyway, I thought it was interesting. The scientists they thought it was a great example of what they call the plasticity of the brain, where it's able to make up for damage to it. And this is obviously a very extreme case of it.
It didn't seem to me like they went into a whole lot of detail as to how this happened to him. Because I know if it happens from a young age, you're pretty much okay with it. Because we have a friend whose child had some issues in birth and ended up with it destroyed one hemisphere of his brain. And he's fine. I mean, you wouldn't know unless you knew the story. You know, he's like your typical teenager.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's its own kind of brain damage,
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
Well, you know, again, him being friends changes everything. But I do have some brain facts myself.
Oh, God, here we go.
Well, the first is Deep Thoughts with Andy Rooney. I don't think brain trans will ever be possible. Change my mind.
How many of these are we going to have to sit through? Just, I'm asking for a friend.
Commonly, dentists often become brain surgeons during their careers. That's after the drill slips.
That would be during their careers.
And this is something I would say about myself. My brain, you didn't know this about me, but it was reattached after an accident as a child. I'm so glad they reminded me.
Oh, these are getting worse. Worse.
That's probably because my brain is like an F-22 Raptor.
Are you sure that they did it correctly?
That's the part of the problem. He's wired backwards.
Well, again, my brain is like an F-22 Raptor. It's aging. It's no longer production, and there are no spare parts available.
You're gonna have to walk us out of there. No one responded to that.
Okay. Well, I'm
getting a lot of workout from the cricket sounds.
Okay. Well, I do have a final one before we move.
Do you have a funny one? That's the question.
No. I do have a final one, though, before we head into Nancy. But it's got to be the last one before we go into Nancy.
Oh, let's not talk about going into Nancy, please.
Oh, no.
That's some brain bleach there.
Vodka with ice damages kidneys. Rum with ice damages the liver. Gin with ice damages the heart. And whiskey with ice damages the brain. Why is ice so damn dangerous? And speaking of vodka, it's up to...
Abolish ice.
And now it's time for another episode of Sock Puppet Congress. Today we join our brave, intrepid lawmakers, San Fran Nan, AOC, Bernie, Sleepy Joe, and the ghost of Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Today's episode, we need a theme. This might be a long meeting, so everyone get a drink. Boy, this sure is a big problem.
What do you mean, Nan? Do you mean you finally recognize that your drinking is an issue?
No, silly. The only drinking problem I have is when my vodka goes bad. That's why if you open the bottle, you have to finish it. The real problem is how to show the American public just how dangerous the Capitol Hill riot was.
Well, we could say it was the worst thing to happen since 9/11.
But Ilhan Omar was kinda in favor of that. It has to be worse.
What about that time when the Weather Underground bombed the Capitol?
Absolutely not. They were on our side. Besides, one of them was besties with Obama.
What about that, what do you call it? The civilian war thingy.
Civilian war? Oh, you mean the Civil War. You really should read a book or two, young girl.
Yes, the Civil War.
That was sad. That, like when I lost all of my slaves. You know they love to stroke my blonde leg hair and watch it pop back up. Oh, the good old days.
Oh, that's hotter than the flames I'm currently consumed in. Go with that one.
Thank you, ghost of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who is currently roasting in the fires of hell. Now, where's the rest of my vodka? This has been Sock Puppet Congress. This presentation has been made possible by a grant from the U.S. taxpayer. That means you, peasant. Join us next time when San Fran Nan's vodka bottle rolls under her bed. God damn it, why don't they make these things square?
Man, it sounds like her breath could be used as a paint solvent. Well, finally, we're off to my story. Campusreform.org. Ohio State students are furious after school reports a black on white hate crime. The story is really simple. It's like 23 words. One suspect called a white person a racial slur and then allegedly punched him. That's the definition of a hate crime. Federal law requires reporting of hate crimes, so they reported the hate crime. It's a really simple story. Wouldn't be controversial at all, right?
I was really confused as I read this article as to who was mad about what until I got to the end of it.
Well, there's a group called Student Solidarity, and they came up with a couple of tweets that were since deleted. Maybe they had somebody with a brain.
His brain is gone.
Doubtful.
OSU sent out an email on Friday confirming that the alleged victims were white, but this is not enough. The damage has already been done. Furthermore, they continue to classify this incident as a hate crime, despite admitting that the alleged victims were white. That was tweet number one. Tweet number two, they followed that up with this one. The group Student Solidarity at OSU argued that the incident was not a hate crime, as racial slurs directed towards white people are not based on a history of violence and oppression towards white people.
I don't know, if somebody calls you a cracker and punches you in the face, that's...
Well, clearly that cracker should have been arrested for taking his face and assaulting that other man by smacking him in the fist with his face.
Are you saying it's assault and cracker?
It's a saltine cracker.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, assaulting cracker. That's clever.
You sound like you don't really mean that, Mark.
No, I do really.
Mark's avatar with
there's actually
that's clever.
There's leftist logic to this, because black people can't be racist according to critical race theory.
Yes, but this also highlights one of the problems with conservatism. I used to consider myself a conservative. I don't anymore, because conservatism hasn't conserved anything, and I'd rather be on the winning side. Thank you. But the great mantra of conservatism is, what if the situation was reversed? And that'll be on their tombstone. I mean, let's face it, what was the real crime here?
Again, clearly that white person attacking that black man's fist with his face.
There you go. But making it a crime out of slugging a guy after using a prohibited word doesn't change the crime of slugging the guy.
Right.
That's the true crime there.
Oh, this is what we were talking about a couple weeks ago, right? It's not whether or not you've committed a crime. It's whether or not you committed a crime depends on what you look like and who you voted for.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
And like Mark said, it's like we're getting to the point where not only can black people not be racist, we're getting to the point where black people can't commit crimes.
That's true. And again, there is a double standard. We should be really aware of that, because everyone can be Irish on St. Patrick's Day, but, try the reverse on Martin Luther King's Day. Gotcha on that one.
Why would everyone want to be Irish on Martin Luther King Day?
Begorra Quantavius.
No, what I can't believe is, I'm looking at one of the Twitter posts in this article, and they had a demonstration of 100 people on this, and it's like, don't they have anything better to do in their life?
No.
Did you see how attractive those people were?
No, the resolution's a little low.
Not an attractive bunch.
Hey, you're just fat shaming people. To me, it sort of actually warms my heart that there is a black student being accused of a hate crime, because in reality, there's a lot of crime that goes on around this country that's black on white that should be a hate crime. And, they just don't do it. Where we're seeing sort of an interesting dynamic is with all these attacks on Asian people by blacks, because now you've got two different groups of people of color accusing the other one of...
I actually saw a tweet. Speaking of the abysmal sewer that is Twitter, I did see a tweet there from, and this was a black person, claiming that the Asians were setting up all those crimes.
Again, by bashing their faces into those fists of those unsuspecting black people.
Maybe they're smashing Asians in the face is similar to, a mountain climber looking at a mountain. You climb it just because it's there.
I think honestly that before you insult a man, you should walk a mile in his shoes, because then you're a mile away and you have his shoes.
T-Bone, you got anything on that?
Nope.
Well, that was a really long time for that one word answer. Nope. That's why he's the best color man in the business.
Well, I don't know where that. I just wonder what's next. Next, they're going to make insulting artists illegal, and those guys are already good. They already brush it off.
You aren't even getting pity laughs from Mark anymore. That's how low you've sunk. See nothing.
I'm sorry. I've got to apologize. I was at work till about 11 o'clock last night. I've just been out of it all day long.
That's absolutely fine. That's fine. and just letting you know, we're nothing but smiles here. So, yeah.
Now I've got a dog complaining. What is wrong with you? And she licks my nose.
There are things going on. T-Bone, you were the quietest person ever on this tonight.
Yeah, I don't have a lot to say.
That's kind of difficult when it's really an audio medium.
Yes. I know.
Better give him a bell. Ding.
Okay, so here's what I want you to do. I want you to right now repeat after me. Say, I agree wholeheartedly.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Okay, now say, that's an excellent point.
That's an excellent point.
Right you are, Dad. Come on, you can do it.
Oh, you wanted me to repeat that?
Yeah, well, I'm not calling you Dad.
I agree wholeheartedly. I'm sorry. That's an excellent point.
Well, I have to say, I think the funniest part is the racial slurs referring to white people are not based on a history of violence and oppression towards white people. I mean, I've never seen anybody get so hung up on a conjunctive like "and."
I agree wholeheartedly.
His brain is gone.
Okay, now you just have to give me a good laugh.
and now say, in just a deadpan voice, well, that is side-splittingly funny, John Wilder.
That is side-splittingly funny, John Wilder.
Now you can be with us on every podcast.
Yes. I have been automated.
Which is a lot like normal you, but...
Yeah.
Well, on that note, we'll be back next week with another edition of Bombs and Bants. And thank you for listening. I'm John.
I'm Mark.
And I'm the missus.
Take care.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Y'all come back now, you hear?